Welcome back to RBR, guys, and today I'm collecting what is literally my dream car. This is a paint to sample custom interior 99 2.1 GT3 Touring, and the spec is a petrolhead's wet dream. And I kid you not, literally 1 week ago I did not know that this car even existed. I was at my desk, and like a lot of you guys, I have tabs open for cars that I daydream about, cars that I'm stalking in terms of where they are in the market, and GT3s were one of them. Literally a week ago yesterday that this gem came up, and literally it was that take my money meme, Apple Pay, ba-ding, I put the deposit down. I don't know if you guys know this, actually on the Porsche used website, you can literally put down a deposit for a car and waste no time if it is a unicorn like this one. I dealt with everything else in the next literally just 3 working days. It must be some kind of record. And I can't believe now I'm holding the keys here to this baby. My heart's thumping. I cannot wait to show you guys. You're absolutely gonna love it. You're gonna love the plans that I have for it as well. Let me show you right now. So guys, last time I was here at Porsche Center Reading was when I picked up my Spider RS, and honestly, I had no inkling at all that I was gonna be back here a few months later, before the Spiders even run in, to pick up another GT product. And I think, honestly, beyond even that car, which I can't believe I'm saying, but it might be the GT product of my dreams. And you need to understand why, because look at this. Like, seriously, look at that. Look at that. I told you, right? It was the petrolhead's wet dream. It is green over tan, what we love. I will show you the interior in a minute. This particular color is Porsche Racing Green. Now, there are a lot of different greens in the Porsche lineup, right? And I can't imagine how difficult it was for the customer who spec'd this to choose this particular one, because there are some amazing PTS colors, right? Now, Porsche Racing Green is, I think, the best, and I'm completely biased, right? But it's not to be confused with Racing Green itself, British Racing Green. That is a completely flat color, and it's a bit lighter. Then we have yet another racing green color, which a lot of people refer to as Aston Racing Green. So this is Racing Green Metallic, much lighter. Okay, it's a totally different shade. Then you've got the super popular Oak Green Metallic, which I think is the most popular green in the PTS lineup. That's a little duller than this. It's got a bit more olive in it. Irish Green, so nice. There are so many PTS colors, but Porsche Racing Green is just special because in the light, like you can see, it sparkles. But when you get into the shadows, it gets darker, like darker greens. It's really special. In fact, it's so special, you guys will remember on the channel, I used to have A45 that I did paint protection spray. I made it brilliant blue, which is a color you can never get on the A45. And I changed it again. I made it into Porsche Racing Green because I love the color so much. So this is not me blowing smoke up your backsides. This is literally my favorite Porsche green ever. Let me show you around it. You're going to love the way that it looks on the touring body. And to do that, actually, I think we need to get this car out of the showroom and into the sunlight. So let's do that now. All right, guys, before we head out, you remember when I got the Spider, or any car I get, I always match my clothing to the car. And you might be thinking that this time I haven't, but you would be wrong, because look, check this bad boy out. Look. Yeah, Porsche Racing Green CKs, baby. I'll see you in your dreams tonight. All right, guys. There's nothing quite as exciting as a first startup, and what I love about this gen of 992, because now it's old, is you still have this to turn rather than a stupid button, and a beautiful analog screen there. And check this interior out. More in a second, more in a second. First startup. Wait a minute, exhaust on or else. Let's make sure we are in sport mode. Good. Let's give it a turn. And she's alive. Let us get going. This is really, really, genuinely a pinch me moment here for me. You might think that the whole thing dulls the more you collect and experience and drive more cars, but when you're a petrolhead and you love these things, then that thing never dulls. That shit never dulls, trust me. Right, guys, thought we should get it out in the sunshine so you can really appreciate just how much the colour changes, because it has, as you can see. We'll talk a little bit about that, and I wanted it outside the building of this dealership who've taken really good care of me, actually, to be fair, over these 10 years. So let's have a look around this gorgeous Porsche Racing Green PTS colour. So guys, this is Porsche Racing Green. It's a really special colour because often with greens, either you can go too light or you can go too dark. And particularly with the Touring, it's such a strange car because you have so much more body colour than the standard GT3, thanks to this section here. So if you get a colour that's just too light, what happens is you have too much body colour. And if you get one that's too dark, then you can't really appreciate the wonderful curves and muscularity of the GT3 body. So you got to kind of, in my opinion, get that balance, and that's what this colour does. So in a really dull, cloudy British day like this, Porsche Racing Green is still light enough and has enough going on to be interesting. So you still get an interesting enough finish across the entirety of the paintwork that it doesn't look boring. But then when the sun hits it and it starts to sparkle, or when an indoor light hits it like you saw inside, then it really goes to a different type of green. And I love that about this. The other great thing is we've got silver wheels, which look amazing, right? Much better than, I'm absolutely sick of black wheels like you guys are as well. So the silver wheels looking properly perfect on this specification. And the previous owner then spec'd that with the black carbon ceramic brakes, which again, perfect. Nice restraint. I've seen a lot of green cars with yellow calipers that don't quite look right to me. And he also went for the exclusive design tail light, which means it's not a red bar, it's instead a clear bar, which again I think really suits the black, white, green theme that we have going on the outside. And just wait till you see how good that all looks with the interior. Now, I saw a lot of GT3s while I had that window open, looking at them over the last 3 or 4 months, and this was really the one that caught my eye. There's some great cars out there, but mixing all the things that I was really looking for, particularly that interior, this one was the one. So now, let me show you the inside, because it marries just so well to the exterior. Okay guys, let's go around this muscular boy. Look at those haunches, beautiful. And here is just the most glorious combination of exterior and interior you'll ever see on a Porsche. This is cohiba brown with black. It is an exclusive manufacturer interior, and this one has had the contrast stitching done in green. And I know that sounds super weird, right? But the gentleman who spec'd this car, he got advice from his late mother. It's a lovely story I read on his Instagram, and she insisted, look, you need to go wild. And she was absolutely right. Look at this. This is beautiful. It sounds like it just shouldn't work, but it sets off the cohiba brown and then the green of your paintwork so well. Absolutely hats off to her for having such vision. And I just think it just makes this so much more interesting than any other Touring that I have ever seen. And already that cohiba brown heritage interior is so cool with the textured nappa. Of course, you've got that lovely tan shade. Just absolutely knocks it out of the park, I think. Of course, we have the full track buckets as well. I'm thinking of putting Pepito or Houndstooth in the middle here instead. Let me know what you think in the comments. But you know what, generally that is wild. I think that's just absolutely brilliant. Hopping inside the car. This is a great interior. It is one of the greats. And the awesome thing about this one now being the old 911 is that it's got a lovely analog counter and something to twist to start the engine as well. And I think they really missed, you know, that was a misstep from Porsche. A very rare misstep, in fact, from Porsche to get rid of the analog, because we love analog in our cars as well, just like we love watches. There's a reason that we connect to engineering, physical items, and I think they've just missed a beat there, sadly. So yeah, I'm feeling a bit smug sitting in this at the moment. It is PDK, which I'm really happy about. I did not want a manual, driven the manual. They're all fine. They haven't got the emotion of the old manuals. Just go for an older Porsche. Here, the ferocity of the PDK with this 4-litre engine is just, it's like nothing else. And the way that they've done this gear shifter only lends itself to that as well. Oh my man, look at this. He even left the plastic screen protector. He's made my inner Asian happy. Look at this. MashaAllah, bruv. Look, even down there. Fantastic. What a dude the previous owner was. Love him. So yeah, this is an awesome interior. Plenty of space back there if you want to be storing stuff. But I've got a much better plan for that rear area. You guys know I'm a family man, right? I love taking my kids and my family on all my great experiences, especially car experiences, because I am a petrol head. And something I loved about the 992 GTS was I said it was a really good family car, and I kind of proved it. I'm going to turn this car into that type of car as well. And the way I'm going to do it is with GT3 belts on Instagram. Sam Seen Through Glass very kindly introduced me to them, and they do this amazing service where you can change the rear of a GT3 to have the extra bench seats. So on my next video for the touring, we are going to explore how that's done, whether you can go for a cheaper option of a stealth look or a full-on conversion. All of it's reversible as well. I'm just super excited. It could be just the perfect dad supercar. So stay tuned for that. That's going to be amazing. Now we're going to head off for a first drive. This car's already running, fully PPF'd. Everything is done because I just want to drive this car. I've not driven it since the press drive at Goodwood, and I absolutely fell in love with the car then when we did the video, and I've been hankering after one since. So let's drive it back home. Just a quick little drive, get it parked up next to the Spider RS, and then we can let this video end on a high note. Right guys, off we go. I can't believe this is actually happening. This has all happened so fast that it's literally surreal for me. And the other thing is the feeling of the GT3 versus the normal 911. You forget. I haven't driven one in quite a while. And the first time that I drove the touring was at Goodwood, I think a couple of years ago, maybe 3 years ago, I can't remember. And that was a very short burst around Goodwood. We had the car for a little while off press, and I did that initial first drive. And I haven't driven it since. So yeah, you kind of look at the shell and you're like, well, it's just a 911, but then you drive it, and particularly with the double wishbone front end on this one, it just feels like a completely different car. That paired with the natural engine, it's just a wonderful feeling, even just poodling along. Now the great thing for me is that this car's, although only done 2,500 miles, the previous owner, who's John, properly ran it in. I checked his Instagram posts, I was stalking him a little bit. And he even stored it like within a car bubble, so it's been properly taken care of, properly run in. He's driven it hard after that, as it should be. What's great for me is that means I don't need to wait for the running in period like I'm waiting on my Spider. Instead, we can experience 9,000 RPM together right now. It's such a great car. This is so different. I was worried coming into it that it was going to be so similar to Spider RS, particularly because of the engine, and obviously it's the same team, but the suspension, the steering, the sound, everything is completely different to that car. It's a totally different experience. So it's nice. I'm really looking forward to living with this, particularly thanks to how nice. I love this interior. I'm sure you guys are getting a good view from over there. It's so classy. I've had too many just black interiors with colour stitching and all that kind of nonsense that most manufacturers make standard on cars these days. It's so nice that Porsche have such an extensive customization arm, and it just makes the whole ownership experience that much nicer. I can see a little green stitch here, you know, behind the steering wheel. Little things like this, and obviously the big things like the leather itself. I love, and I've missed being in a 911. I know it's a little bit dated in terms of tech versus other cars. It's not a bad thing. You know, a bit of analog is not bad. It still runs CarPlay and all that kind of stuff, so it's got the main things you need. Analog for me is never a downside, you know. I like a bit of analog. I love a bit of analog. And I also can't wait then to add the rear seats in and make this a really unique super track family touring thing. That's going to be so cool. Utter disbelief at the moment, to be honest. I know I keep saying it, I can't believe this has happened. So, really excited to bring you guys the full review. Now we're going to go home. Let's park this up next to the Spider RS, get the two family members together and have a little chat. So guys, here we are back home. Now let's enlist some help in order to remove the cover of that. I can't wait to see what the two of these look like together. Listen, can you just remove the cover off there? You lazy ass, you can't do it yourself. Yeah, stop whining, hurry up. Can't get good help these days, can you? Some people. Hurry up, come on. Yeah, I'm doing it. Yes, thank you. Bloody hell. Anyway, there you go. The two of them together, GT3 Touring, Spider RS. As we said, two very similar yet totally different cars from the GT department at Porsche. What a crazy two-car garage, right? Like, it makes no sense, but sometimes the best things in life are the ones that genuinely make no sense. Now, you guys will remember that the Spider RS, I got to spec up wholly by myself. We did it from scratch. I did it with you guys, with the video that we did speccing it together, and then the car when it eventually came. Now, I did not get to spec this one, but what was cool is the way that the whole Porsche system works is I went almost through like an accelerated version of the ordering phase. First of all, the car is 95% genuinely what I would have spec'd myself. I've proven that with how I spec my A45, for example. But the cool thing is I went through this process where first I saw the car on the configurator. So on the used car page, you can access the configurator for every Porsche used car, which is cool. Because as you guys know, Porsches have so many options. It's nice to see exactly what has been selected. So I got to do that. Then the teaser shots at the dealership. But even better than that, like a few days before I picked it up, I added the car to my Porsche app after I paid for it, thanks to the dealer. And I got to see the production photos of this exact GT3 Touring at the Weissach factory in its PTS color going through the line, which is so cool. And it's exactly what a new GT3 customer would see when their car is being built. But for me, it was even better because literally like a day later, I was collecting, well, I collected the car with you just now. And that's still surreal to me, but it's cool because it was like an accelerated version of that whole ordering process. But I love the fact that you got access to that as a used customer as well. You got all of those benefits of like the factory photos, etc., which is really cool. I love that part of the app. So guys, here they are together. I think they look amazing together. They're so different, chalk and cheese. Two cars with the same engine, the same team behind them, but totally different application. One is like a crazy mountain bike and the other one, a race car made for daily usage, which we're gonna improve on soon with the next video. But I love the way they look. This is just absolutely stunning. It looks even better at home. I love the bodywork. It's so aggressive, but without the wing. A really cool sleeper. What's nice about the Touring is you don't get any GT3 badge here. It's all hidden within here. So it almost has that kind of, that D-badge look, which is nice. And next to the Spider, the cool thing is the Spider is almost running now. Actually, I have the key for it here somewhere. There she's hiding. And you can see we are a measly 10 miles away from running this beauty in. I think that is the running in mileage. Actually, I need to check. I'll check the manual and I'll check some forums. But if that's the case, we are literally a few miles away because that is already run in. Then I'll be able to film these properly, professionally, as we always do on RBR, and talk about what these two cars are like on the road, how different they are together. But yeah, what a mad two-car setup. But if you think that's crazy, you look at the rest of my driveway, it's really no better. I mean, these are all two-door, at best, full-seat sports cars. You see, guys, take a good look at what happens when you allow a fully grown adult with the maturity of a child to make all his financial decisions himself. Beautiful, beautiful things happen. That's what happens. So guys, that was the collection of my GT3. I hope you enjoyed it. Soon we're going to be on the road with this and that future content about making this the ultimate dad supercar, which I cannot wait to do. If you've enjoyed this episode of RBR, as always, please do like and subscribe. Loads more coming on these two very soon, and I'll see you guys next time.